everybody. I'm Lynne Ellis Parker from Sage, and thank you to Have Us People for inviting me to speak today. It's really great actually, because I feel really aligned to David. We haven't shared our slides, but what he says at the ended with and what I'm starting with, it's very intriguing, and I'll let you into the secret why. So happiness is where you ended. I'll tell you a story. It was only on Monday this week, and I leave my home at 7 o'clock in the morning. My village is lots of trees, so I'm driving down the road, and it's full of trees and it's really dark. And I go over the brow of the hill, the trees go, and the sun, it was amazing. It was just like that. There's a layer of mist across the fields in Wiltshire. And I honestly say, I felt really happy. I thought this is going to be a great week. And it got me thinking about today and the effect that happiness has on people. We're told that endorphins are really impactful and make a difference. Chocolate's National Chocolate Week. They say that chocolate produces endorphins and makes you feel really happy. Love. Again, when that first time you fall in love, it's those endorphins. I think this is brilliant. Baby's face. Danny, that's for you. Puppies. I was at my friend's last night. She's got a new King Charles puppy. Oh, and we all, maybe it's because we're all women, but we all went, oh, how cute. And it made me feel really happy. Or walk along the beach. And I was thinking, why don't we just bring lots of chocolate into work?
We do.
Yeah, you do here. At Sage, unfortunately, we don't. Why don't we bring lots of babies and puppies into work? Sex. And I thought...
You've not denied that you you only denied the chocolate.
Deny the chocolate, not the sex. Then I thought, yeah, puppies, making the mess that puppies do, the distraction, babies crying, unfortunately, Danny, they do. Chocolate, you'll have loads of overweight employees. Imagine the lawsuits that might go with that. Let's not talk about sex. So I was thinking, what do we want culture to do? Well, actually, again, it aligns to what you were saying. Happy, productive workforce equals happy, delighted customers. So why can't we just do these things? Because it's more complicated than that. There are relationships, talking about relationships again, there are relationships, there are structures, there's organisational design, there's processes, and all these things kind of get in the way and maybe can stop the happiness happening. But why is it important? You've got to know your culture. You've got to understand it. How do things get done around here? 89% of hiring failures are due to poor organisational fit. Think about that. That's why we're here today. That's why you're listening to us about culture. But why is it? Now, what I think, we're sold a lie. I'll tell you a story about where I used to work, who then remain anonymous. This company told employees it's a great, dynamic, inspiring place to work. Things happen at pace, agile, velocity. Finance manager, let's call him Pete, right? He started, he passed the interview process and started work on the Monday. He was excited. The things that fire him up in life are working at pace. He had his HR induction. He did his health and safety briefing. Then we called his manager. His manager turned up 2 hours later. He was left sat there for 2 hours. His whole week went like that. Did he come back the next day? Of course he didn't. That costs money. And I'll explain on the next slide actually how much that does cost. So what about those people like Pete who aren't like Pete, who don't leave? They can't afford to leave. They've got a job. They're sold a lie. They stay. What happens to them? It's really dangerous if you don't bring them along the journey, if you don't tell them the truth, what it's really like. So think about the golden thread. Your values, your behaviours, how things get done around here, how people talk, how they work together, and then how you tell that story through your employer value proposition. It's critical to get that right. Be authentic. I'll mention the A word throughout this, the A word, authentic. It's really important. So I just talked there about, if you tell a lie and then you've got to go out and rehire those people. One vacancy costs £6,125. And for a senior position, £10,000 to fill that job. And if you do that again, you can double that. So Peter's replacement, you double that figure. Is it Peter's fault? No, it's not. It's your fault as an organisation for not telling how it really is around here. So if they've been sold a lie and they stay in, or you're going through massive transformation. I work in a company in technology. We're the only tech company in the FTSE 100 now. Disruptive technology, disruptive world we live in. Things changing, working at pace all the time. We have to keep up with our competition. So I called this presentation, the subtitle, Square Pegs, Round Holes. So your square pegs, they're in the old world, or they've just been recruited and it's sold a lie. What are you going to do with them? They're not wrong. Those people that were in the old part of your company, when the values were different, when the culture was different, they're not wrong. It's not their fault. It's about bringing them along the journey with you. Yeah? What happens? They'll be grumpy old cats. If you don't take them along your journey with you, they'll be at best sad, unhappy. They'll be angry. Have you worked with people that are really negative? What do? It kind of permeates throughout the teams. And somebody who's relatively happy, working amongst one or two people who are really unhappy, what happens? They all become unhappy. And it's like a virus spreading. It's really dangerous. And what will those unhappy people then do? We've heard Glassdoor, they'll put reviews on Glassdoor. They'll tell people how awful it is here. Now, are they wrong? No, they're not necessarily wrong. It's just that they haven't been brought along. The world's changed for them. But what's scary for me as employer brand manager is these things. We know that potential talent searches for Glassdoor. Yeah. Now what's interesting is I hear our recruiters on the phone and first thing they say is Sage is going through massive transformation, and they'll tell that story, so we're not lying. And you know, some of our Glassdoor reviews aren't great. I'll put my hands up. We are going through massive change and we are putting that right, and I'll talk about that on the next slide. Your potential suppliers and even customers will check you out on Glassdoor, and some of them won't do business with you because it won't look good for them. Investors. Now, if you're in a PLC like we are, investors obviously crucial to any organisation, but they potentially won't invest with you. So it's dangerous. And the good news is for me, I've done the research on Glassdoor, and only 4%, I've worked out only 4% of our colleagues have actually put a review on. So there's a big potential there who we can influence. And it's not about saying you must go and put a Glassdoor review on, you must go and put a good Glassdoor review on. Do not ever do that. It's the worst thing you can do, because you'll be told you're manipulating the situation, which is quite right. So where was Sage before and where are we now? Old world was just seen as maybe accountancy software, a bit boring. Now, awesome technology supporting the ambitions of the world's entrepreneurs, builders of business. They're our lifeblood. I mean, the statistics about small businesses in this country are massive. How many people they employ, it's absolutely huge. And we're for them. And talking about awesome technology, we've got a chatbot called Peg. And go and check it out. It's on Facebook and Slack, and it tells you, by just typing on your iPhone, I've got an expense here, what do I do with it? It's in its beta testing version at the moment. It says, oh, where did you go, how much did you spend? And it tells you what to do with your expense. That's where we're going. It's exciting. But it's different to the old world. The old world was old premise-based software, one-off payments, and now it's subscription, it's cloud, we're in the cloud now. Laid back place to work, it was some of the reviews that I read on Glassdoor, you know, it's really chilled here. We're really going for it now, high performing teams, builders of business. That vision is changed so much as well. We were very siloed, and now it's entrepreneurial spirit, one Sage. We're agile and we work at pace. But your leaders, they are absolutely the keystone to all this. We are having a Leading at Sage programme which we're rolling out, and they are so important to make this happen. VUCA, I don't know if you guys have heard of the world today is a VUCA world. it's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and it's ambiguous. You need leaders that have vision, they understand it, they have clarity, and they're agile. So you need to make sure when you recruit people, they fit into your new world and they fit into the future, whatever that will be. And as it's a VUCA world that we live in, especially with things that are going on at the moment with the Brexit, the pound and everything, it's essential they're flexible. But your leaders are ones are key to make that happen. Your square pegs, they need to bring them into the new world. So they need to understand the vision and sell that vision. And we have a transformational leadership program, and it's about modelling. What does good look like? What does great look like? Model that, and having great coaches. I can't tell you how important having leaders that are really good coaches. They'll make a massive difference to your company. Reinforce the message, align it, and it goes through the whole cycle. One phrase that I've only heard recently, actually, and I'm surprised I've only heard it recently. You'll probably all say, oh yeah, it's been around for years, but recruit the attitude, train the skill. Totally love that. I think that fits in, because this is all about the attitude, the values. Have I got the right values? Will they fit with this company? Yeah? Are we recruiting those people with the right values? I said about the A word earlier, be authentic. Your talent researches you, you know that. David mentioned it earlier. They not only check out Glassdoor, they check out other things. Now, we've got a Life at Sage Instagram account. This is a picture from there, or pictures I should say. And we encourage our colleagues to put their pictures on, the fun stuff, the cool stuff, the things that are different. You can imagine here playing table tennis or table football. It'd be fantastic. And scare electrics as well. So, it's really worth doing those other things, getting your colleagues to talk to you on social. We have something called Social Friday. Every month we have half an hour at lunchtime in every single country, and we talk about how to be social. We encourage people to use LinkedIn. We have Pimp Your Profile, how to make a really good profile on LinkedIn. That's in our Sage Academy. We have top tips regarding, I've done a session on Glassdoor as well, top tips on Instagram, using Instagram, and really it's in our lifeblood at Sage. It really is. Our CEO is the most social CEO in the FTSE 100, and if you follow Stephen Kelly, he has some great things to say. And the one thing that we're doing, we want all 13,500 of our colleagues to be our brand ambassadors, our advocates. And can you imagine the snowball effect of all those 13,500 and their connections on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever? That snowball effect, it just gathers more and more snow as it goes down the hill. It'd be massive, absolutely massive. And finally, just to summarise, transformation is a bumpy ride. Believe you me, I've only been in Sage a year, and I'm seeing it. Be prepared, but make sure that your leaders are on board. They understand the vision, where you're going, and make sure your new hires understand that as well. The square pegs in the round holes, they'll either not be happy and they might leave, or take them with you. Can you imagine turning a square peg into one of your brand advocates, your employer brand advocates? How powerful that could be. They would tell the world how awful it is at Glassdoor. At Glassdoor. They would tell the world how awful it is.
Yeah, we just checked their rating of 0.6.
They'll tell the world, for their friends, family, whatever, and Glassdoor, how awful it is if you're not doing this right. So bring them on the journey, and great leaders will make it easier. Let your people tell the story. They're your ambassadors. And I'm ending with happy. We are really aligned, aren't we? Don't forget the big picture. Happy, engaged colleagues equals happy customers. Thank you.